are some patients that are exposed to that, are exposed to the, hey, this can help you. You can feel better. There are some patients that aren't ready for that yet and that won't be able to receive that.
Today I am with Dr. Megan Kimberley, Dr. Naturopathy, working in British Columbia. You did your studies in Toronto. You shared that was the only college where you could have this diploma at that time?
Yes, it was the only place where you could become a doctor of naturopathic medicine in Canada at the time.
Can you tell me what was the purpose you choose this profession?
Um, well, I didn't know what it was until I was at university at about second or third year. I was just taking courses, a Bachelor of Science. I was taking courses that I enjoyed. And my roommate told me about this thing called naturopathic medicine, where you focused more on mental, emotional health and stress responses of the body and the psychology. And that appealed to me greatly because it didn't involve cutting people open and cutting up rat brains. So I looked into it and it sounded very appealing. So I applied and then I got in. And then I met my first naturopathic doctor at the college when I'd already committed. And it's just run from there. It's an amazing profession with endless possibilities of learning. We learn about Chinese medicine, and that can be endless in and of itself. So I do so much acupuncture. I do it every day. Chinese herbs and medicine theory is amazing. Then we learn homeopathy, which is also a whole other branch of medicine, which is incredibly magical. Very powerful medicine, homeopathy. I'd be lost without it. And then we learn botanical medicine, which is very common in England. So we've learned a lot from the old British botanical medicine doctors. And then we learn minor surgery, we learn pharmacology, we learn the biology and the physiology, and we bring it all together. And then we do a lot of work on the stress responses, mental, emotional responses to health. And if we're good, we bring in the spiritual aspects of health and how that affects your physical health. So that appeals to me also because on a personal level, I do find that your mental, emotional state of being affects immediately and directly your physical health. And your spiritual awareness can immediately and directly affect how you feel. I find that if I was to do a traditional mainstream medical degree, I would be restricted.
You choose to be very engaged into mental health issues.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love the placebo effect. It's my best friend. If you can create an environment and an attitude, if you can create that space of you can get better, you will get better, look at how you can feel better. Some people call that the placebo effect. This will help me. I believe that this will work.
Yeah, the placebo effect is everywhere.
So,
Yeah, I really like it. You bring this. For me, also, the placebo effect is the type of relationship you develop with the patient, and it's like you plant a seed of greatness, of gratitude, and the more you can relate to the other person when you have this, exchange in your office and the way it's settled down and the energy you create and the wholeness of the moment, the patient will receive the energy and you start to exchange, and it's like you enhancing the effect of empowerment and the placebo effect and the gratitude, which is just so happy for the cells.
Yeah, that's health. That's healing, or it's the spark of healing. And there
Yes.
are some patients that are exposed to that, are exposed to the, hey, this can help you. You can feel better. There are some patients that aren't ready for that yet and that won't be able to receive that. So for some patients, you are constantly looking for a way around their mindset, because it is a real thing that people can be stuck in depression and can be stuck in anxiety that takes them way out of the room and they're unable to be present. And in those situations, we need stronger medicines. As a pharmacist, you're well aware of that. There's a range. there's vitamin B and St. John's wort and tranquilizers. And sometimes you need to judge where on the scale they are and what they need. Sometimes they need a Kleenex box and a good hour and they're better. And some need 5 different pills in 6 months. But there's always a way.
You share with me that you have very good relationship with other healthcare providers around you. Can you just give me some example or your experience?
It's been over 20 years, 23 years. So I've had some experiences. I've heard amazing stories. So I have met people from all walks of life, in health and in our relations with other people. There's no restrictions. But again, some people have them. So the College of Physicians and Surgeons is not going to walk into my office and ask for help because they have a fear and they've got hold of their dump truck in the sandbox and they're not letting that go because it's their turf and not your turf. I love it when a patient leaves and says and is leaving to go out the door and turns back and says, "You know what? Thank you." The memorable moments are when you're out in the community and you stumble upon an older fellow that you haven't seen in 5 years, and he comes up to you and he grabs your shoulder and says, "You saved my life." So, thanks. But it's those little nuggets that help you realize that you really are helping people and that something's working. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
when the
God.
little kids tell their mom and their dad that they want to go see Dr. Megan again, but nothing's really wrong with them yet. Sometimes it has more to do with the lollipops I give out the front than anything else, but
They need your energy, the exchange.
and my
You said you're a
energy.
healer.
Yes. So I really, really enjoy that about my job.
When you work in collaboration with doctors and pharmacists, is sometimes it's involving a patient that has like a regular follow-up into the Western medicine and is taking meds, and you intervene into like the third part that will bring another way to bring the patient in a better condition.
Yes. I find that just picking up the phone and talking, it's all about communication. So it when there is an issue, when there's a disagreement, because yes, sometimes I disagree with what a medical doctor says to a patient or what a pharmacist says. I'll pick up the phone, and every single time it's just communication that needs to happen. It's a disagreement in the strength of medicine that's required, and we do what the patient is comfortable with. And I'm always grateful for those collaborations. Quite often, I am encouraging my patient to go back to their medical doctor and talk to them or get the help that they need. In my profession, we are a front line, so we see a lot of people that are afraid of going into their medical doctor. So I often play the role of, no, you actually need to go to the hospital right now. Or you actually need to see your medical doctor about this. You need an ultrasound. So that is a lot of what we do. And that's a misconception. I'm not sure if that's a British Columbia thing or if that's Canada wide. But quite often there's a misconception that naturopathic doctors steer patients away from what they might really need, they steer them away from life-saving drugs, or they tell them not to take those drugs, but that's not true. We're trained in pharmaceuticals and we're trained in the diseases and what can go wrong. We know how to diagnose. So we know when they need to go to the hospital.
Actually, this is something we share with you because the pharmacists in Quebec are really into the front line, because our accessibility is like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very easy to see a pharmacist. And you also explained me very briefly that you have a broader scope into your practice?
Naturopathic doctors have been practicing in BC for a long time. I would think it was 1927, but I think it might have been 1938. There's some debate about that.
Oh, that
But
long.
we are, oh
My
yeah, we've
God.
been here for
It's
decades.
it's gonna be
Oh
100
yeah,
years soon.
yeah, oh yeah. So right now, naturopathic doctors in British Columbia are able to prescribe. We can prescribe medications, not a complete list, but most of the mainstream common ones. Hypertension, antidepressants, birth control pills, antibiotics. And I have had to prescribe those. Um, I personally am not the expert in prescribing drugs because I do other things. So when it's complicated, again, that's a point where I say, please go see your medical doctor because they're better at this than I am. Um, and some of them won't because they've had
Mhm.
bad experiences. So I fill in the blanks. And in British Columbia, there is a limit. All of the medical doctors are quite busy. So naturopathic doctors have been filling in gaps of care big time. So being able to prescribe medications for people who just don't have a medical doctor, that's been very valuable. We can do minor surgeries. We do lots of IVs and intramuscular injections, subcutaneous injections. And then we do the homeopathy and the botanical medicine and nutrition. And we can do pap smears and anal exams and all that sort of doctor stuff too. We are all private practitioners, incorporated or proprietorships. Um, there is some funding from the provincial government. The medical services plan does cover some money for visits for people who have a lower income, the lowest possible. And most of my patients do benefit from extended medical coverage. So if my patient has a job where they're getting extended medical care, all extended medical plans do include a chunk of money for naturopathic medicine.
Then you
Yeah.
will always choose naturopath medicine first.
For me, my toolbox is my toolbox. And my naturopathic medicine is botanicals and homeopathics and prescription medications and
Mhm.
hydrotherapy and an acupuncture and St. John's wort and B vitamins, all that stuff. So that's all my toolbox. So what will I give them when they first come in and they're quite depressed and I don't know their sensitivity levels yet, but I know they're very, very bad. I'll probably hit them with 5 different things and get them to come back within 2 weeks right away. And that's part of the assessment. And with depression, you're screening right away for suicidal ideation and all those things.
Mhm.
My first visit is an hour long, and that's why they're better right away. They just needed to sit down, and most of the time in those situations, they need simple care. They need simple care. And every once in a while, you get a first patient that comes in that's been avoiding the mainstream medicine, and you send them straight to the hospital because you're pretty sure it's a tumor.
Mm,
And that has happened also.
mm,
And unfortunately, sometimes those situations are too late to save their life because
mm,
they're far gone and they go to the hospital and they don't come out. So when you're dealing with health, you have to learn how to heal that as well.
mhm. Yeah, you work a lot with acupuncture, you said?
Some patients come in and says, please, please give me acupuncture, please, please. And other patients, I'm the one who's saying, please, please, can I just try this point? And everything in between. Um, I am impatient and I like to see results.
Mm,
So I think that's why acupuncture has been a fabulous tool for me
mm,
because you can see pain go away like that. And it's really fun to watch the needles go in and the needles come out. And every once in a while, some patients are like, yep, thank you very much. And others are, that can't be true because my pain's gone. So I don't believe it. I don't believe that that possibly worked. I'm sure the pain's going to come back any second because I don't believe that pain can go away that quickly.
Mm.
So you're dealing with some of those blocks sometimes. And that's a total
Mm.
segue, but that's what I see in my acupuncture patients. And that's one of the reasons why I keep doing it. But also, it's one of the tools in my toolbox that's way over here. I'm going to do everything else first before I jab somebody with a needle, because in naturopathic medicine, one of our tenets, one of the rules that we work by is we do the least harmful treatment first.
Mm.
So a least harmful treatment would be a massage or acupressure or a botanical or a homeopathic remedy. So we'd give arnica 10 m before we'd stick a needle in.
Mhm.
So that's the range.
At what frequency you see the patient?
There's a lot of it depends. Um, with the teenagers and the young ones, you want to see them a couple times at first because you know they're going to be off on their own pretty quick. And with older patients, it's nice to, I'll see you every 3 weeks, I'll see you every 4 weeks, and get into a little bit of a routine for maybe some people need 2 visits and some people need 10.
You are one of the famous speakers that will be at the 8th International Congress of Naturopathic Medicine in Barcelona in next July. Wow. Congratulations. Then what will be your subject there you will be speaking about?
The title of my talk is Restoring Health, covering topics of anxiety and suicide and hope. So I will be talking a lot about how us as naturopathic doctors approach mental health in our patients, and how we can have our stuff together to approach it from a healthy place in ourselves. The international congresses of naturopathic physicians are amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful group of naturopathic doctors, and I'm really excited to be a part of them all. They have great energy, very, very wise women there, and a few guys.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
Megan,
beautiful.
thank you a lot for this discussion. I really feel it was heart to heart discussion, and I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Blessings to you, Bridget.